Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and today I am doing Pets Tag, the Booktube community joy and gratitude tag. I have journal with the prompts, and I have my phone because I will be reading the quotes that are tied to each prompt. And I have Pat's Booktube original tag up and ready as a guide. So I've had the real pleasure and joy of getting to know Pat this last year here on Booktube through our shared joy of poetry and literature, and we've been able to form a friendship and a relationship between kindred spirits. I think we share a lot of joy and things in common. So Pat, thank you so much for your friendship and for tagging me in. I didn't want to delay in getting this tag done and shared here on my channel. So let's get to it and celebrate Pat's accomplishment of having reached 2,000 subscribers on her channel. Congratulations, Pat. Well done. And well deserved. So the prompts are tied to themes of joy, laughter, community, and gratitude. For joy, the quote for joy is, "Let's be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom." Marcel Proust. Or Proust. I think it's Proust. Question number 1. Name an author whose books bring you joy, or discuss a specific book that made you feel joyful. For this one, I went with a recent find, so I've shared this book in a recent book haul. I picked this one up at Brussels Bookstore in Houston in the month of September when I visited the bookstore. And I have been perusing it. It's one of those coffee table books, so it's not a book that is meant to be read from beginning to end. It's more of a book that you read a chapter or section at a time. And it is this one here. It's a beautiful hardcover. I love rom-coms, and I am a feminist. A manifesto in 100 rom-coms by Karina Introbus, illustrated by Volga Drawings. And there are, the illustrations are just beautiful, and every section or every chapter is a rom-com. So, for example, the rom-com that gave us the strong female introvert, and this is Amélie. This is my favorite movie of all time. It gives you who the director is, the writers, and the year that it was released, and then it gives you a summary of the movie, and then it gives you other rom-coms to binge. So if you like Amélie, the recommendations are Submarine, 2010, just as whimsical and with the same dark edge, simply swap sunny Paris for waterlogged Wales. Ghost World, 2001, two introverts for the price of one in this classic coming-of-age comedy about two alienated teens. That sounds really good. And Lost in Translation, 2003, a low-key romantic comedy heightened by its lost lovers. I haven't read any of these. I should watch these since I love Amélie. And so you get the idea. There's so many. I think this is Love and Basketball. It's such a joyful book. I love being able to just celebrate the rom-com. Discuss something about Booktube that you find joyful. I find the spirit of lifting each other up really, really joyful. Like, it inspires a lot of joy. I find channels like MJ at Reading This Live who live this out on a weekly basis when they do their Support Small Booktube shout outs. I think almost every booktuber whom I've encountered here on Booktube will do like shout out, and I think that's how I've been able to connect with channels, is because somebody mentioned me and gave me a shout out or shared my channel, and I think that's really, really meaningful and supportive, and I've appreciated every time it's happened to me, and I see how it helps boost morale and boost joy and excitement, and it's like you're seen, right? And it's really, for me, it provides a lot of joy. And I love seeing, even if I don't get a shout out, I love seeing how other channels are uplifted and shouted out. And then it helps me connect with channels I maybe hadn't heard of or wasn't acquainted with. So it builds a web of connections, and I love that. It really gets so much joy when I hear booktubers shouting out other channels. I think Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading is a wonderful like spreader of joy, like joy promoter through her shout outs. So yeah, I think those are the channels that come to mind. I think MJ and Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading does this pretty frequently. There are two channels that are just coming to mind who do that consistently. I know Melinda at A Web of Stories has given me shout outs, and I really appreciated that from her. So yeah, it's really sweet to watch it, even if it doesn't happen to you, to see it happen to somebody else. It's a real, real joy. Friendship. Discuss a book that focuses primarily on friendship. I could not pick just one. For this one, I picked 3 because I couldn't just decide on one. So the first one is this one, Kristen Hanna's The Women. I read this one this year and loved it. And the women meaning women who served in the Vietnam War but weren't acknowledged. And when coming home, our protagonist comes home and finds herself not fitting in, not understood, not seen, not like appreciated, or like, yeah, seen and understood, especially like she finds herself like isolated and alone and confused and without any real support and like sense of like community. And the women whom she served with, her best friends for life, are still with her after her return to the United States. And these women are amazing friends, and they help each other out, and they're there for each other, and they go up to great lengths to be there for each other. And I find that really inspiring, really like amazing. I think we should all have friends like that, and I want to be a friend like that. And I feel like it reminds me that the true friendship really is valuable, and we need to take care of our friends. So this one is a book where friendship is such a big part of this novel. And a middle grade book that I love is this one, The girl who circumnavigated fairyland in a ship of her own making. I absolutely love this book. I'm trying to work my way through this series. So this is the story of September and her friend A through L, who is a book-loving librarian dragon, and Saturday is her other friend. And they go on all these whimsical adventures to try to save fairyland. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. It has that Wizard of Oz feeling, but in like maybe a tad bit more whimsical. It's lovely. It's a beautiful story, and I love this friend group of September and Saturday and A through L, the librarian dragon. And then a book that, of course, like part of my childhood, and it's a banned book, and I've been wanting to reread it, hopefully soon, is Charlotte's Web. And the friendship in this is it's like the best part of this book. I love the end. I love how friendship saves the day, and can't wait to reread this one soon. I didn't read the quote for friendship. So the quote for friendship was, "Kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world." Ellen Montgomery, from Anne of Green Gables. The next section is laughter, and the quote is, "There's nothing like deep breaths after laughing that hard. Nothing in the world like a sore stomach for the right reasons." Stephen Chbosky, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Discuss an author or a specific book that makes you laugh. So the first book that came to mind is a book that, well, I have two books. The first book that came to mind was A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. I don't own that book, but when I read it, I remember laughing my butt off. And then Olive Kitteridge. I've read this book twice. I read it most recently last year at the end of the year, and I almost peed my pants driving because I was just laughing so hard. I was trying to drive to the grocery store. I need to go to the bathroom, and I just like laughing, and it was really putting a strain on my bladder, and that's TMI, but it was such a funny section. Olive Kitteridge as a whole is not like comedy, but there are sections of the book that Olive's quirks are really, really something, you know, sometimes a little over the top. I did make it to the bathroom. There were no bladder issues, but it was like that feeling of like, oh my goodness, the belly laugh and a full bladder and middle age. Not good combos. And then another book that really made me laugh out loud, and I've talked about this one before, and it's a new to me, like, favorite author that I discovered, I think, last year, I think? Temporary by Hilary Lecter. Yes, it was last year. I love this book. I love it so much. Such a funny satire of a book. It's really, really a lot of fun. If you are into satire and dry humor that's kind of absurd, that is absurd in nature, I love absurd. I love the absurd. So this was right up my alley, and it was a joy. So that was 3 books. I just couldn't help myself. Next, community. We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men. Herman Melville. Discuss a book where the idea of community is important. And I think this is the one book that is, there is a book that I've read in recent times, in recent years. It's this one, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Survival is insufficient, and the only way to survive is to be a part of a group, to have a community. And this book delivers on that notion that it is through community and helping one another and being there for others is how we survive, because the individual cannot do it alone. So this is I think this is a treasure of a book. 6. Discuss a communal reading experience that you have had. Communal as in more than two, I'm thinking. I think the most recent is, if it's Booktube related, then this one's not gonna, I was gonna say in real life book club, we just met last weekend, and no, not this weekend, but the weekend prior. So that was communal. I enjoy book clubs. I think online, I'm gonna say MJ's group, the I'm with the Band book club, is probably the latest communal reading experience I've had. I was able to do the A Court of Thorns and Roses group read, and I haven't yet started on Oryx and Crake. October is almost over, but I'm still going to get to it, even if it's November. And I might be behind the reading schedule. I do really want to read that book. So yeah, I really enjoyed having people to read band books with and share thoughts and insights, and it's been a great community, and the fact that it's on multiple platforms is really cool. It's a really great way to be inclusive. So all the props to MJ for leading that effort. Next is gratitude, and the quote for gratitude is, "I can no other answer make but thanks and thanks." William Shakespeare, Twelfth Night. Name a book in which a character demonstrates real gratitude, or name a book that left you feeling a sense of gratitude. So a book in which a character demonstrates real gratitude. I don't have a book for that, but I did pick out a book that left me feeling with a sense of gratitude. And I picked two. One answer is my cheeky answer. It's kind of like just being a little snarky, and the other one is my true answer. So the snarky, cheeky answer is My Sister the Serial Killer. So people who know me in real life know that sometimes I lament not having a sister. I don't have a sister, I have a brother. And whenever people talk about like amazing sister relationships, or they're, like my best friends have sisters and they have really good relationships with their sisters, and it always makes me feel like I'm missing out on something. I have cousins, and my cousins all have sisters, and they, they're really close. And my mom is like one of a whole bunch of sisters. And so I always feel like I'm missing something. Then I read this book and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God I don't have a sister. And especially not one that is a serial killer. So this book made me feel gratitude for my circumstances. And that is my snarky answer. My FOMO, not circumstances, because they're not that. I love my family, my brother. This book is more like a journal, and it has inspired so much gratitude. The title is Rhythms for Life, 90 Days to Peace and Purpose by Rebecca Lyons. I love these prompts. So there are morning and evening prompts. I started it and I haven't finished it, but I'll give you an example. So there's rest, restore, connect, and create. And so for each one of those sections, you pick one thing that you're going to do for rest, for restoration, for connection, and to create or engage your creativity. And then you have your morning routine, your bedtime routine, and your priorities, and you match your interventions to yourself into those morning routines. So if you say, I'm going to reflect and journal, then you put in at what point are you going to do that? Is that going to be part of your morning routine or your bedtime routine? So the page I'm looking at, for example, was for that day. For rest, I said I was going to reflect and journal. For restoration, I said I was going to drink 4 glasses of water. For connection, I said I would write a friend a note. And for creativity, I said I was going to organize my desk. And in the morning routine, I wrote sleep 8 hours, wake up, refresh, and get dressed, water the plants, make a smoothie, have a tea, and declutter my desk. For my bedtime routine, I wrote have a cup of tea, do my kitchen cleanup and tidy up, and shower. And then for priorities, I put sleep and rest, drinking water, and set up my planner and journal. And then there's a quiet reflection where you get to pause, examine, and journal. And so it just gives you a space to journal freely. And it's funny that I open up to this page because in my reflection, I'm talking about the 1,000 books to read before you die list that I have here by James Mustick that I'm working through. So I'd gone and counted how many I'd read, and I was figuring that out. And then I wrote, and this is like before I started my channel, when I started it, I said, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel just to chronicle the books I'm choosing to read and how I'm choosing and prioritizing what I read. So that's interesting, right? Like I was thinking about it and meditating on it, and then I did. I went on to like talk about what I was feeling and how I was sleeping and what was happening. So it's been really cool. And then now I can look back and remember like, oh, these are my priorities and this is what I was doing. So I started it and then I paused, and I've been meaning to pick it up again because in those, that time period where I was doing it every single day, like that method was really giving me a sense of deep gratitude for my day. So it's Rhythms for Life, planner and journal. And I'm probably going to pick this up again, start it up. The last question is tag others. So I am going to tag Mimi from the channel It's Mimi Duong. She has been a delight and a wonderful friend, and so happy we've connected here, and she's connected with me outside of Booktube, and we recently did a buddy read together, and I'm so grateful for you, Mimi. So you are tagged. And then Kat, a curious cat, she is someone I really admire, and she's working on her goals as a writer, and I love it. I'm in it to see her through these goals and just, provide all like the excitement and friendship and support to her, extend that to her as much as possible. And then I'm also thinking of Sui at Sui's Book Banter. Sui, I'm not sure if you were tagged, but if you're not tagged, I want to tag you. Sui's been another really great friend here. We've recently connected over a shared love for YA literature, and it would be great to see her do this. I also am thinking of Sean at Sean Holt. I was so grateful to him because I did an original tag earlier this year, and he actually did it, and that was such a great surprise. So I'm so grateful to him for humoring me and doing my original tag, and that felt really good to have someone do it. So thank you, Sean, and you are tagged as well. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So if I didn't mention you and you want to do this, please do it. Consider yourself tagged and tag me and let me know. I cannot wait to hear all your answers and continue to watch other people's versions of this tag. And again, thank you, Pat, for your friendship and your community here on Booktube. It really is a light and a wonder and a delight, and I love it. And I love you, and I wish you well, and congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. Thank you all for watching. Hasta la próxima.